Lynne Cheney, the widow of former United States Vice President Dick Cheney, has spoken publicly for the first time since her husband's death, sharing her profound grief and gratitude as she remembered the man she called her rock protector and life's greatest blessing. Dick Cheney passed away on November 3, 2025, at the age of 84 after suffering complications from pneumonia and long-term heart and vascular conditions. His passing closed a historic chapter in American politics, but, for his wife and family, it marked a deeply personal and heartbreaking loss. In her heartfelt statement, Lynne Cheney described her husband as a man of rare integrity, unshakable faith, and deep devotion. Her words reflected both love and admiration for a man who spent more than 4 decades in public service while never losing sight of his responsibilities as a husband, father, and grandfather. "He was my husband, my best friend, and the love of my life," she said softly. "We were together for more than 60 years, and in all that time, he never stopped being the same steady, strong, and kind-hearted man I fell in love with when we were young." The Cheneys' story began long before politics brought them into the national spotlight. They met as high school students in Casper, Wyoming in the 1950s. Lynne, bright and ambitious, would go on to become a respected author and scholar. Dick, quiet but driven, was a football player with a fascination for history and government. Their bond grew stronger during their years at the University of Wyoming, where they married in 1964. It was the start of a partnership that would take them from a small-town upbringing to the heart of Washington, D.C. As Dick Cheney's career advanced, from working in the Nixon and Ford administrations to serving as White House Chief of Staff, Secretary of Defense under President George H.W. Bush, and later Vice President under George W. Bush, Lynne was by his side through every turn. She balanced her own career in education and literature with the responsibilities of raising their 2 daughters, Liz and Mary, while supporting her husband's demanding public life. Those who knew the couple well often remarked that Lynne was not only his partner, but his closest advisor, someone whose intelligence and intuition shaped many of the decisions made behind closed doors. In her remarks following his death, Lynne Cheney focused on the man behind the public figure, a husband, father, and grandfather who cherished family above all else. "People saw him as a strong leader," she said, "but at home he was gentle, loving, and patient. He was happiest when surrounded by his children and grandchildren, telling stories and sharing memories." She described evenings spent together in their Wyoming home, where the couple found peace away from the intensity of Washington. "He loved the mountains, the open sky, and the quiet," she said. "That was where he could truly breathe." For decades, Dick Cheney was a commanding presence in American politics, known for his decisive leadership and unwavering convictions. Yet behind the stern public image was a man who faced extraordinary health challenges. He suffered his first heart attack at the age of 37 and endured 4 more over the course of his life. In 2012, he underwent a heart transplant, an operation that extended his life and gave him precious time with his family. Lynne Cheney stood by him through every hospitalization, recovery, and close call. "He had incredible strength," she said. "Even in his weakest moments, he found ways to smile and reassure us. He was never afraid, not once." Lynne recalled how, after his transplant, Dick viewed each day as a gift. He would wake up every morning and say, "It's a good day to be alive," she said. He valued time differently after that. He made sure to be present, to listen, to laugh. He never took another moment for granted. Their bond deepened during those years as they both slowed down and focused more on family life. "We found joy in simple things," Lynne said. "Coffee together in the morning, reading side by side, watching the grandkids play in the yard. It was peaceful, and it was perfect." When news of his passing broke, tributes poured in from across the country and around the world. Former President George W. Bush called Cheney a man of honor and principle who served his country with extraordinary dedication. Political allies and even longtime critics acknowledged the scope of his influence on American defense and foreign policy. However, Lynne Cheney's words stood apart from the formal condolences. They were not about politics, history, or policy. They were about love, partnership, and endurance. She reflected on their shared journey through 6 decades of marriage, calling it a lifetime of moments, large and small, that shaped who we were together. She spoke about their early years when Dick worked long hours while completing graduate studies, and she supported their growing family. "Those were hard years," she said. "We had little money but a lot of dreams. We never imagined where life would take us. We just believed in each other." Lynne Cheney also spoke about the toll that public service can take on a family. "It's not easy being in the public eye for so long," she said. "You learn to live with criticism, with misunderstanding, with long separations. But through it all, Dick never lost sight of what mattered most. He always came home to us." Her words carried the quiet wisdom of someone who has lived most of her life under scrutiny, but who measures success not by headlines or history books, but by love and loyalty. The former Second Lady also addressed her husband's sense of duty, describing it as absolute and unwavering. "He believed in this country with all his heart," she said. "He believed in its values, its people, and its promise. He often said that America is strongest when it stands by its principles. That belief guided him every single day of his life." While public discussion continues about the more controversial aspects of Dick Cheney's career, his role in the Iraq War, his advocacy for expanded executive powers, and his tough national security stance, Lynne Cheney did not engage in political debate. Her focus remained entirely on her husband's personal integrity and his faith in the American system. "History will judge his record," she said. "I will remember the man who loved his family, who kept his word, and who never once stopped serving the country he believed in." Those who know Lynne well say her composure in the days following her husband's death has been remarkable. She has leaned on her daughters, Liz and Mary, who have both spoken publicly about their father's profound influence. "He taught us the importance of character," Lynne said. "He showed our daughters what it means to lead, to stand firm in your beliefs, and to act with courage even when it's difficult." As messages of sympathy continue to arrive from political leaders, former colleagues, and citizens across the nation, Lynne Cheney expressed deep gratitude for the kindness shown to her family. "We have been overwhelmed by the love and compassion people have shared," she said. "Dick would have been humbled by it. He never sought recognition, but I know he would be touched to see how many lives he influenced." In describing his final days, Lynne spoke of her husband's calmness and acceptance. "He faced the end the way he faced life, with dignity and grace," she said. "He wasn't afraid. He told me he had lived the life he wanted to live, surrounded by the people he loved." She did not go into detail about his final moments, but said that his passing was peaceful and that the family was by his side. "We were together," she said quietly. "That's what matters to me most." When asked how she wishes the world to remember her husband, Lynne Cheney paused before answering. "I hope people remember his love for his family," she said. "I hope they remember his courage, his loyalty, and his humor. And I hope they understand that beneath the serious man they saw on television was someone who loved deeply, laughed often, and believed in doing what was right." Her closing words captured the essence of both her grief and her enduring love. "I was blessed to walk through life with him," she said. "We faced storms and celebrated victories, and through it all he was my constant. He gave his strength to this country, and he gave his heart to me. I will miss him every day for the rest of my life." Though the Cheney family has not yet announced details about a memorial service or funeral, Lynne's statement provided a glimpse into how she and her family are processing their loss. The former Second Lady, who has long been known for her quiet strength, now faces a new chapter of her life, one without the man who stood beside her for more than 60 years. Those close to the family say she continues to find comfort in the love of her children and grandchildren, as well as in the thousands of messages from friends, former colleagues, and citizens offering their condolences. As the nation reflects on the life and legacy of Dick Cheney, Lynne Cheney's words serve as a reminder that behind the political figure was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather whose influence extended far beyond policy. Her tribute was not about power or politics, but about love, endurance, and shared purpose. In the end, Lynne Cheney's remembrance of her husband is both deeply personal and profoundly American, a story of partnership, faith, and commitment to service. "He lived with purpose," she said. "He loved with his whole heart, and he left this world better than he found it. For that, and for the life we shared, I will always be thankful." With those words, she closed her statement, her voice calm but filled with emotion. For Lynne Cheney, the loss is not only of a public leader, but of a lifelong companion whose presence shaped her world. Her words reflect a truth that transcends politics, that love, loyalty, and shared purpose are the legacies that endure long after public life has ended.